Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy, Moto Maintain, and today we're going to be talking about Bloons Tower Defense Battles. For the tower category, it's a 10 out of 10. Got unique towers that complement each other, and you actually get like 3 with a fourth bonus. That really makes you have to wonder, like, what am I going to use? What's the best strategy for the map? That sort of thing. So the towers are really good. They're very complementary to each other and to strategies that you find in Bloons Tower Defense Battles. The enemies, I give an 8 out of 10. It's easy to tell them apart. They have good design. There's just no info about them, which is going to be some probably common with all the Bloons games. You know, you send them against each other, and they do have some special properties, but no like unique abilities or anything. No skipping the trap, no disabling or skipping the map, no disabling traps, none of that stuff. Yeah, progression. Now in this Bloons game, it is a versus. It's a battles game, which I think if you were to do a tower defense PvP sort of game, it would be just like this, or similar to Sabotage in a game called Orcs Must Die Unchained. Very similar to that as well. But that leads itself to the lack of progression. So for the progression, I gave it a 3 out of 10. The only progression you have is if you win, you get medals, and medals allow you to play in higher difficulty tiers, but there's no like other, like you can play the same maps on the first difficulty sort of thing, and the difficulty is only arbitrary as well, because it's just based on the people that you're able to defeat. And so if you're only playing against people that aren't very good, then you're going to think that you're better than maybe you are. You'll get into higher tier ranking pools or playing pools, I guess, more of the elite community. But that part doesn't really even matter. So, yeah. So there really isn't that a linear progression, and there's not really a good progression. The only progression there is a progression of your account, being able to play on those higher tiers, and when you do, some of those have special. They have like special days where you have like increased income, or you have like random trio towers and that sort of thing. So that's all about progression there. Then you have special enemies, 0 out of 10. There's no bosses. There's no special enemies. Nothing unique. No golden balloons. No money bags. None of that stuff. So unfortunately, there's no special enemies. Therefore, I give it a 0 out of 10. For resource, it's a 10 out of 10. You have so many ways to make resource, and in this game, even more than the other Bloons games, because you can send out balloons as part of income to your opponent. So you can choose to do that, or choose to do banana farms, or choose to do maybe something else. So there's plenty of resource options outside of just popping the balloons. Although I will say, I guess there is no that you don't make money from popping the balloons. So you know what? I'm gonna take resource down to 8 out of 10, because there's no. Normally in a tower defense game, you would have resource come from popping the balloons, but you just get resource every tick, and like every in-game 4 or 5 seconds or something. And then you can increase that amount by sending out balloons, and then you can also do banana farming and village and stuff like that. So, but since you don't actually make money popping the balloons themselves, I think I got to give it an 8, because that is a staple of tower defense, is killing the enemy for the resource that you need to build. So the micro pacing, I gave it an 8 out of 10. You have hotkeys for everything except for sending the balloons, but you do have a hotkey for placing all of your towers and a hotkey for upgrading all your towers. Obviously, there's no speed up or slowdown. I think the abilities that you have, the special abilities at the top, also have a key binding, but I didn't look. But I mean, that's the important part, is your towers themselves having the ability to quickly place them and quickly upgrade them, and quickly, you know, use your abilities. Sending out balloons comes second to that, so I give it an 8 out of 10. All right, for the macro play, I give it a 6 out of 10. You know, what you can do is cast abilities from your units, and you can use these power-ups that can help, but are somewhat negligible. So yeah, the 6 out of 10 for that, and then I guess the only other thing you can do for macro play is to decide to send out rushes, balloon rushes to enemies. But overall, I think that I don't know. There could have been more. There's just not as much as you would find on other tower defense games to consider a 10 out of 10 for the macro play. And there's no pausing or anything, so you can't build in between rounds sort of thing. You just have to build on the go because it's always going. For map design, 10 out of 10. Each map is unique. It's amazing, and they did a really good job for having some maps have the two different sides where balloons come in from the top or the bottom, and naturally, and then the enemy's balloons come in from the opposite side, so they're asymmetric, usually somewhat asymmetric maps with some modifications in that. So it's really good job, really good design, and there's plenty of them to pick from. You do get a random one, and then you can re-roll random ones often, so you don't have to play on the ones you don't really like, but your opponent might want to, so they might try to roll into ones you don't like. The strategy versus combat, it is pure strategy. As a matter of fact, it's probably more strategy than ever because it is player versus player. So your strategy versus theirs. The thing about that is you don't get every tower, you just get the 3 or 4 towers. And the replayability, 10 out of 10, 100%. I mean, there's so many strategies out there, and of course you're going to have meta ones, especially now that the game's been out for forever. But yeah, it's the replayability is definitely there. And then you got the price, 10 out of 10. It is free. It is free. So that takes our total to 83 out of 100, since I made that adjustment on resource. 83 out of 100 for our total, which puts Bloons Tower Defense Battles in the A tier. Which puts Bloons Tower Defense Battles in the S tier. And that being said, let me know what you think about Bloons Tower Defense Battles in the comments. Don't forget to leave a like, comment, subscribe, and I will catch you on the flip side. Deuces.